Yep, I meant ask the question. I think.
So might need one of you at one end, one at the other perhaps, but if you can just kind of guide Nathan a bit, Darren, and then we'll see how it goes weather-wise, because we might have to go in. Did you want me to wear a mask then?
Yeah.
Okay, have you got one then?
Yeah, I've got one, yeah. None of them have been used.
Alright,
So.
that's very prepared.
Yeah.
Thank you. Cheers. What year are you in?
First year.
Alright.
Yeah.
Did you want the backdrop of the volunteers working?
Yeah, that'd be good, yeah. So, Sebastian, if you just record Claire talking and you get all these people in the background.
If I can, yeah, let me just
Just
right
stand
here,
over
so,
there or something. Oh, still got it, right.
Shall I turn that way then? Can you get the people in the background
Yeah, I
there?
can,
Is
yeah,
that right?
sure.
So I'm going to ask you the questions.
Oh, sorry. It's a bit wet.
That's alright, Oh, God.
I know.
Okay, the microphone has to go over then, so... Yeah, James, you might have to help him with this microphone.
Okay, you know how to use it, right?
Oh, he knows how to use it, but he has to be closer to...
Alright, I'll hold this. You tell me if it's working. So I'm going to ask...
Oh, that... That sounds pleasant. Sorry about that.
So, because it's your, so are you the leader of all this? Right, so I'm
Park
going
liaison officer, yeah.
right, so I'm going to ask what your job is. You guys
Okay.
ready?
Yeah, I'm filming already.
Okay. So, can you introduce yourself?
Okay. Hello, everybody. My name's Claire. Claire Stubman. I'm the park liaison officer for Hanley Park.
Got that? Yeah. Right. Get the camera again. Get the camera. I'll ask what does your job involve. Okay, are you ready for that? Yeah. What does your job involve?
Well, as you may or may not know, Hanley Park for the last few years has been in a renovation project, and we've had funding from the Heritage Lottery Fund to improve the park, so improve the landscaping, improve the buildings, and also to encourage community involvement and lots more activities within the park. So within my role, part of it is communications, telling people what's happening in the park, encouraging different groups to get involved. So behind us we have our gardening volunteers that come out every Tuesday, and we have another group on a Thursday. Also involves working with schools, community groups, doing activities with schools, family and community events during the school holidays, overseeing external events, and also there's a lot of monitoring that goes on during the project, so how many visitors we have, what they do, what they think of the park, so those kind of elements. Okay. And looking at the interpretation as well, how we can develop that.
Okay, did you get that? Yeah. Right, could you hear clearly?
Yeah.
Good. Right, we're going to ask basically how did you get this job? Is that okay?
Okay.
So, Sebastian, do you want to get like, you know, like the hands and stuff, get pushes and that?
Oh, sure, yeah.
I know it's a little odd, but just look like, like, just like, kind of, yeah, stuff like that. So, you got the angle right, Sebastian?
Yeah.
Okay, you ready for it? Yeah. So I'm going to say, how did you get the job, basically?
Okay.
So you're going to move, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay.
Just give that.
Okay.
How did you get this job?
Okay, so my background is as a countryside ranger and outdoor educator. So from having those qualifications and experience outdoors and in the countryside, and having worked with community groups before and with schools, so that's how I was employed for my environmental knowledge. So that's how I got the job there. So.
You get that? Yeah. Right, that's good. That's good. We just like you now to say, basically, what we got to call it some kind of conflict. So, could you say something of like maybe, what do you enjoy and what do you not enjoy? And if there isn't anything, then that's fine. Just say. Is that okay? What's happening? Right, you record that. I could ask it now. I know. Go ahead.
Let me know when you're ready.
When are you ready, guys? You can record. Is that okay if we record volunteers?
How do you feel about being recorded volunteers? Do you mean with them in the background
Yeah, just just them working.
Yeah, if you've got a back view, that's fine, because that.
Not the faces.
Yeah.
No, don't get the faces.
No.
Okay. Right. So we're gonna. Are you ready, please? Yeah. You ready, please? Yeah. So what do you enjoy and maybe not enjoy about your job?
Okay, I very much like seeing how the park changes through the seasons, and also it's brilliant to see how the park has gone from being really degraded 4 years ago to nearly all the renovation work being done now. Linking with people, I love working with people, so with a friends group, working with our volunteers, with schools, and doing the family and community events. I love doing those. The things I don't like are the people that misuse the park, so they drop litter and don't put it in bins, don't sit on the seats properly, and don't respect the park. So those are the elements that I don't enjoy. But luckily, there's not too many people that behave like that. So.
Okay, that's good. So I'm going to ask, it's alright if you elaborate on how the litter makes you feel. And I say that, yeah? You ready, Clint?
Yeah.
Ready?
Yeah. Yeah. 3, 2, 1, action.
So how does the litter make you feel?
It makes me feel very frustrated and angry because it's sheer laziness by some people.
Oh, sorry about that. Could you start off the litter, because we're going to leave the questions.
Okay.
We won't know what you're talking about. Sorry. Just say the litter makes you
Right.
feel.
Okay. The litter makes me feel very angry and frustrated that people don't put it in bins, because it means a lot more work for the park staff and also for our volunteers. It's dangerous for wildlife, and also you can get young children that might pick up some litter that could cut or hurt them. So that's how that makes me feel.
Right, did you get an audio? Yeah. Right, good. Just get that. Do you just want to hold that for a second? Sorry, guys. Oh my god. Right, so it's alright, we asked basically how many days does your job entail here, basically? How often do you come here for your job? Just ask that. Yeah?
Okay.
Okay? Cool.
Yeah, let's do it. Another angle. We need more angles. Yeah, thanks very much. Okay, 3, 2, 1, action.
So how often do you come here for this job?
Okay, well, my working week is about 37 hours a week, so it's full time. But then I occasionally have to work weekends and also in the evenings. So occasionally there might be the odd week where it is extra hours, but in general it should be 37 hours a week.
Right, good, that's good. Sebastian's going to hold that quickly. If you can hold that. Right.
I'll try and get us inside in a minute, guys, okay? I'll try and get us a bit of shelter in a minute after this has happened, okay? Yeah.
We're gonna ask what do you see yourself being, where do you see yourself being in the future of this job or anything? Okay? Is that alright? Right, are you ready, friend? Ready, Sebastian? one second. Yeah, I'm ready now.
Ready?
Start off with I see myself in 5 years doing. Alright, that's the question. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
I see the park in 5 years. You know, where we will.
So guys, just look at me. Don't.
Okay. Okay.
So please introduce yourself.
Hello, I am Claire Stubman, the Park Liaison Officer for Hanley Park.
Is that the audio alright? What?
The biggest challenge is actually seeing how the park's changing over the time of the restoration. So, and getting to ensure that some people follow better behaviour than they did, because we've got a small minority that don't respect the park as well, so that can be a challenge at times.
Good. Yeah, change that. Guys, ready? Yeah. Which project has created the most difficulties?
Well, as we went through the renovation stage, for example, you've got the pavilion just there, and that was in a terrible state of repair. And when they went through the process to reconstruct the pavilion, the main beam was rotten, so had to work with a structural engineer, an architect, and the contractors to look at the best methods that we could use to rectify that, and in the end decided on a beam, because it needed to be solid, really good solid oak, and we don't have the density in our oak trees here, so we had to have oak that came from France that would be strong enough to support as the main beam along the pavilion. So
Okay,
some changes there.
Is that clear, Flynn? Yeah. Right, I just want you to say this line. Just say the project that created the most difficulties, just say that.
The project that created the most difficulties was the reconstruction of the pavilion.
Lovely. And the rest, what you said previously, you can edit that on.
Okay.
So, that's good. I think you should get a shot of that now, so we know what she's talking about. Yeah, no, but you want that tripod. Well, anyway, we just do the question first. Okay. Guys, ready? What has been your proudest moment?
Oh, that's my proudest moment. That's a good question. There are several things. When the Caldon Grounds was completed, that was completed in the renovation process, because we're in a Heritage Lottery Fund project to renovate the park, so we received money from the Heritage Lottery, which is doing all the landscaping work, reconstructing the buildings, linking with communities, lots of planting, all sorts of works happened in that. And one element of that was completion of the fountain in the Caldon Grounds. So to see that, and to have an opening launch ceremony for the fountains, that was a great one. And also, in other years, this year is a bit of an exception because of COVID, but the family and community events, particularly in the summer holidays, were linked with the library to produce a series of activities and events that help link with Stoke 100 Reads for books for children from primary school, and I've developed those into events, and had a very good turnout with the public that have come. So we've had on some of the events about 90-100 people that have come along to those. So as it's progressed, because we started that in 2018, and people have got used to coming to those events on a Monday, Wednesday and a Friday. So great to see that.
Right, good. So again, sorry, but yeah. So I wanted to say my proudest moment has been use the audience.
Okay. My proudest moment has been.
You got it? Yeah, you got it. Like, you know what you're doing there with your hands? Is that alright if you just kind of like, just keep your hands in close proximity so you don't have to move the camera so that you don't have to be still doing it. So you just film our hands. Yeah.
I get really self-conscious now.
No, it's alright. We're deleting it or what's around. What would you miss most about your job?
What I would miss most about my job is linking with all the different cultures and communities that use the park. So be it those that use it for sport, recreation, families. We've got a wonderful team of volunteers, and occasionally you have school groups in here. And what's great about Hanley Park, in this part of Stoke-on-Trent, is the wonderful diverse cultural mix. So you meet people of all ages and all backgrounds.
Good. How does the park make you feel when you're alive in the morning?
The park makes me feel, when I arrive in the morning, nice to see it because you can see the changing of the seasons and how the light varies, if arriving here early in the morning, it's very quiet and peaceful.
Good. Good. Yeah. What is the key to your success in communicating with the public?
My key to success in communicating with the public is to have empathy with them, to respect their cultural backgrounds and it might be different from ours, to be friendly and approachable and helpful in many ways, and obviously give them a smile, and help them to enjoy the park.
Good. Why is the future of this park so important to you?
The future of this park is so important to me because several years ago it was very run down, needed regeneration. There was a lack of confidence in walking in some parts of the park. So for people to thoroughly, because lots of people here around the edge of the park may not have their own gardens or anything like that, so the park is fundamental to them as their area of green space and getting out. So to have a vibrant city park where people of all ages can enjoy relaxing in it, can enjoy recreation, to continue with all the volunteering activities we have, and community groups linked to the park, to increase the wildlife. Well, we've already got quite a lot of wildlife here, but to increase that, increase opportunities for education, and a wide range of different sporting activities.
Good, good. Right. Why do you think green spaces and parks are so important to society?
Hang on, you got personal. Green spaces and parks are essential to society because, as I've said before, lots of people do not have access to their own green space. They may not have gardens, etc. So parks are fundamental for their physical, their mental, their emotional well-being. They're a place where they can get exercise. It's also a place that helps with their spiritual well-being. They can connect with nature, often in different parks there are activities that people can get involved in to feel the fresh air. And without our parks and green spaces, it would not only be detrimental from an environmental point of view, but also for the health of the nation. And there'd be a lot more people that would need to receive treatment through the NHS. But by using their parks, they're just absolutely wonderful resources for everybody.
Good, good.
Yeah, 3, 2,
You just say what you want to say about it.
Okay. Where do you want me to look?
Sorry?
Where do you want me to look?
Not at the camera.
Okay. Okay. My job as park liaison officer involves many different things. Fundamentally, it is communicating what's happening in the park, providing opportunities for people to enjoy the park. So, for example, we've got gardening volunteers, ecology volunteers and activity volunteers, and a friends group that helps support the park. I link with our partnership organisations such as the university, the YMCA and the college to develop activities there. Also links with local schools, particularly primary schools, and I actually lead environmental activities and environmental programs with them. Also, I have to oversee the large-scale events that we have in the park throughout the year, so ensuring that they get all their documentation in place and that the event will be safe with support from other colleagues in the council. Also running family and community events throughout the year for children between the ages of 5 to 13, 3 times a week for the school holidays. We've got our Magic Mondays, which are creative and artistic events, Wild Wednesdays, where it's linked to the natural environment and nature-based activities, and Fantastic Fridays, which would be things like den building, treasure hunts, games, all those kind of things. Plus, about 10% of my work is a lot of evaluation. So we've got visitor counters that I have to monitor, visitor questionnaires. Once a year there's an observational survey, seeing what people do, and promoting what's happening in the park through e-newsletters, through Facebook, social media, and also working towards, at the moment, interpretation boards and leaflets as our interpretation package for the park. And supporting the park keepers as well. So quite a few different elements to my role, yeah.
Good, good.
I don't know, does your phone say 10:58?
Yeah. Right, Flint's recording now, so if it's alright, if you should be quite quiet for a bit.
fine.
my
It's just,
hand in.
yeah, it
It's
doesn't
getting a
matter.
bit
It's just
cold
audio.
now.
All right, just tell us when you're going to go, then ask her the questions.
Go on.
Okay, so what was the green flag?
So, recently we've been awarded Green Flag designation, and this is brilliant because it's to recognise the standard of the park, of how well it's maintained, the features that are available for people, the links with the communities. So we're very lucky to get that award, and we're currently looking to see through Green Flag award for our best volunteer, adult volunteer and young volunteer, so nominations for that.
So that green flag, is that like a yearly award, or how does it work? Do they give it out after a couple of months, or?
There's lots of work that has to go into getting the designation in the first place. So it's linking with the maintenance plan that's produced for the park, and how different communities have become involved in the park and what's available for them. And then annually, that maintenance plan has to be reviewed, and that will get fed through to the Green Flag.
So as you was telling me about this park and how what year it is, and you said it was Victorian. Is there any like distinctive features that you notice in this park, which are distinctive features to you, or?
Well, Hanley Park is a Grade 2 listed historic park, built in the Caldon Ground was the first section that was constructed in 1894. And the larger, wider park in 1897, designed by Thomas Mawson, with lots of key features, so a pavilion for people, and that used to be 2 reading rooms, but now it's a cafe for us. Bandstand, creating amazing views across to Stoke Minster in one direction and up to St Mary's Church in the other. And also we have right in the corner of the park this way what's called the Veterans Building, which was originally for veterans of the World Wars, but then also for veterans from other wars. And that building actually helped get the Grade 2 listed status because it's a good example of late retro style, I think so.
Okay, thank you for that.